Greetings and salutations, people of the internet. This is Master RBG, and today I have a very special game to round out the reviews for this spookiest of seasons. Today's game will have both overt and subtle horror elements. It will have puzzles, stealth, love, loss, and a small town in serious trouble. This week we'll be looking at Worse Than Death. We begin our journey here with Holly. She has recently returned to her small town where she grew up for her class reunion. Unfortunately, the weather is getting pretty bad, and of course she was extremely hesitant to even go to this reunion in the first place. But there is an advantage to coming back. She gets to see her best friend. This would be Flynn, her best friend since elementary school. They've been through thick and thin together, and, well, they've grown a bit more distant ever since the incident. To make a long story short, he fell in love with a young woman named Grace, and unfortunately they had a car accident and she died. He blames himself for it, and of course the fact that Holly and Flynn have been apart from each other this whole time really hasn't helped things much. But of course, this is all small potatoes compared to the other issue of this class reunion. There's an edge of remorsefulness and sadness over the whole reunion. Holly and Flynn can both see it and feel it. Literally, the candles really do make it look more like a wake than a reunion. And of course, this is only the beginning of the issues. Back in high school, Grace was homecoming queen, which meant she had more than a few admirers out there. Enough so that they even have a memorial to her set up for the reunion, which kinda hits Flynn like a 18-wheeler, to be perfectly honest. It's not exactly what you'd call subtle. Speaking of not subtle, oh my goodness, can we just talk about this class reunion just for like 5 seconds here? Oh my gosh, they're doing all the stereotypical things. Just all of them. The balloons, even the disco ball, really? Oh, Lord, it's got all the tropes. It really does. Even the doings of her classmates after their graduation seem surprisingly stereotypical for the most part. I won't go into too many details because story spoilers, but again, the reunion is only the start of issues in this story. Because, well, no matter how much issues you may have with your former classmates and everything, they kind of pale in comparison to what happens next. It's the janitor's week off, and there's blood on the second floor hallway. I'm just kidding. The janitor probably isn't off. Well, maybe he does have the night off. I'm not quite sure. But regardless, there is blood on the second floor hallway, and, well, it might be fresher than we'd hope. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty fresh corpse right there. Anywho, yeah, this is Jack, local former basketball star and kinda local drunkard and bully nowadays. Of course, I think now the only occupation he'll have is corpse. That's about the only thing he's good for now. I do not envy the poor soul who has to get him ready for an open wake. Okay. Yeah, so this is the start of the horror elements in this game, obviously. Grisly murders usually are. Oh, dear me. Also, the start of some of the puzzles in this game, which there's quite a few of. Every chapter has at least a couple of big puzzles that are involved in it. Oh yeah, and I might have forgotten to mention, there are monsters now. Oh, and just in case you thought I was being metaphorical about the whole monster thing, no, I don't just mean, oh, whoever killed Jack was a total monster. No, I meant it very literally. There is a monster on the loose. I think more than one. It's left a little bit ambiguous. Kind of hard to tell. Because I think there are a few points in the game where they mentioned that there's another one out somewhere. So there might be more than one. Not totally clear. But one way or the other, Holly needs to get GTFO big time. Now, I know what you or I might do in this situation. We'd probably run for the car. Unfortunately, this monster is smarter than the average bear and has already totally wrecked the only car out in front of the high school. I'm guessing everybody else just walked there. Must be a really small town then. Anywho, yeah, not a good time. Not a good time at all. So, escaping from the monster, Holly takes refuge in the local hydroelectric plant. Now, of course, yes, she's made sure she's safe-ish, but we're not quite sure what happened to Flynn. He kind of ducked out to go to the bathroom at the reunion, and we haven't seen him since. So, we don't know if he's alive or dead right now. But, as it just so happens, the radio happens to go off inside one of the rooms inside the hydroelectric plant. And we think it might be dear Flynn, but we're not going to be sure until we can get in there and access the radio ourselves. And we're going to have to do some puzzle solving in order to get to that point. But at least we know we're perfectly safe here in the... Oh, dear Lord. Okay, nope. Never mind. Not safe here either. Nope, there's still more murder. Murder and mayhem, just... Oh, it's all over the place. It's on the walls. It's on the ceiling. Oh, why? Why all the things? Oh, Lord. Yeah, can we get a janitor over here? Maybe? Anybody? Please? Gonna need one heck of a mop. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was worse than death. A surprising stealth/puzzle/horror hybrid, to say the least. You might be wondering, will Holly find Flynn? Is he still alive? What about their fellow classmates? Who's behind all these grisly murders? For all these answers and more, you'll just have to play the game for yourself to find out. Now, I don't know about you, but I usually hate stealth in video games. But it actually makes perfect sense here and is surprisingly well implemented. Honestly, I'm only surprised that more horror games don't have such an element added to it. I mean, let's be honest here. Who wouldn't try to hide to escape the notice of some horrific monstrous beast out for blood? I would. I mean, unless I'm armed to the teeth or something. So I guess Resident Evil would be the exception here. I do apologize for the heavy editing on the footage for this video, but I didn't want to give any spoilers that they could be avoided, and trust me, this game certainly has quite the story to tell. Through the puzzles and grisly murders, you learn quite a bit about your classmates and the townsfolk, and what they've been up to in the years following your character's departure for the big city. And some have been up to a lot more than others. Let's just leave it at that. I give this one a strong recommendation to any horror fan. It's got puzzles for the puzzle fans, a good plot, a surprising amount of tense action and stealth for our adventuring junkies. It's a strangely balanced offering, all things considered. Unfortunately, there's only the one ending. But there's a lot of optional elements to keep the achievement hunters and completionists happy. They don't change the ending at all, but they do offer greater insight to the various characters in the story. This game currently runs for about $10 on the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4, and on PC. Sorry, Mac and Linux users, hasn't made it there just yet. But you never know, it may get updated with those in the future. Heck, there might even be an Xbox One port at some point. Who knows? If it reaches enough sales numbers, that might just happen. Anywho, that's all the time we got for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of my nonsense in the future, hit that subscribe button. And if you'd like to be alerted the moment I post any new content here on YouTube, hit that notification bell. And if you'd like some suggestions for other videos made by yours truly, if you'd like a horror game that's a little more low-key than this one was, might I suggest my review from last week for Little Misfortune? Or if you'd like another puzzle-related game with a lot of gore and horror in it, might I suggest Slayaway Camp? Pick out either one, they're both fantastic, just like you guys have been. Until next time, this is Master RBG. Stay spooky.